All right. It is officially that time of year. It is Ren Faire season. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on here before about tips for the fair, but I just wanted to add a few of my own, and maybe it's something that you've never heard before. So hopefully, if this is your first time at the fair or you've been before, this video will add to your experience at the fair. And to those of you who are curious, the clips that are going to be in this video are from opening day, which was August 17th, and also from August 25th at the Tuxedo Park, New York location. So if you were there at that location on those days, keep a lookout and you might see yourself in the background. All right, let's get into it. So my first tip is to actually look up whether or not your local fair allows pets or not. This is important if you have pet allergies, but also if you have pets, it is such a fun day for them to experience. I took my dogs to Robin Hood's Fair in Connecticut for their first fair, and we had the absolute best time. Everyone was so sweet, they got so much attention, and just a quick PSA though, if you are gonna bring your pets, just make sure that you have their records with them and keep them by you at all times, and also just to bring doggy bags for them. All right, tip number 2 is to stay hydrated. I know you've heard that before, but it's really easy to get distracted and not remember to stay hydrated at the fair, and you're doing a lot of walking. So just remember to stay hydrated, drink some water before you leave the house, and remember to check out the drinks at the fair too. Renaissance fairs are known for their meads and their ciders, and most have really decent assortments of interesting drinks. This year I tried the frozen apple cider, which was incredible, so good. Definitely try that one. The frozen lemonade was really good, and also I got something called a pickpocket, which is kind of like a frozen Arnold Palmer. These drinks made a really big difference. I feel so much better. The next tip is to check out the fair schedule. When you first walk into the fair, you're going to see a schedule on display, and sometimes if you're lucky, they even have an information booth. The schedule is going to tell you when the performances are, but it's also going to have information about social events like the pub crawl and your daily highlights. So with your ticket, you have access to performances throughout the day. You also have access to demonstrations, and that's going to be things like glass blowing, wool spinning, blacksmithing, etc. But be sure to check out the performance schedule, because then you can kind of base your plan for the day around those schedules. And if you're someone who likes to plan in advance, you can find that schedule as well as more information about their performers on the website. And that's also how you're going to find out when the themed weekends are. The themed weekends, if you're unfamiliar with Ren Faire, are things like Pirate Weekend, where people dress up as pirates. Not everybody, but you're going to see a lot of pirate costumes. There's also like Time Travelers Weekend, which is really cool. So anyway, that's going to be on the website. The next tip is to plan your meals. Again, depending on the size of the fair, the food options can be really good with gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegetarian options. That being said, the food can get really expensive, especially if you're getting multiple things or you have a whole family with you. And sometimes the seating can fill up pretty quick, so my advice is to come to the fair fed. And there's also a lot of separate food vendors themselves, so if you want soup in a bread bowl or pierogies or fresh donuts, you're going to be waiting in multiple lines, and that can cause the meal time to add a lot of time onto your day. So if you come to the fair fed, you can plan to have a couple nice treats throughout the day instead of being hungry, waiting in multiple lines, spending a fortune on food, and you can just focus on the entertainment at the fair. All right, tip number 5 is to talk to the vendors. And I don't mean to just go say hi. Many of the vendors are artists themselves, and when you go into their store, you're holding that person's handmade art. So not only is this an opportunity to meet the artists themselves, it's also an opportunity to learn about the way that they make things, where they source their materials, and sometimes they even have options and ideas that you wouldn't have otherwise known about. Some of the vendors even have tools in the back, so if you need something fixed in a certain way or you need an alternate option, sometimes they can redirect you to their website where they have those options. And I've been talking to people about something that they were selling and it just wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I've had them go behind a curtain in the back and pull out literally the exact piece that I was hoping for. Now, I'm not saying that's your experience at every vendor, but some of them are like that, and that's why it's nice to talk to them. At the very least, with today's automated shopping and Amazon, there's such a disconnect from people and their goods and who is making and handling the things that we have in our homes and wear on our bodies. So Ren Faire is a really nice opportunity to get to know an artist, a crafter, a maker, and support not only local artisans, but get to know a little bit about what you are purchasing and putting in your home. Many of the vendors have been working at the fairs for a long time, and they also work at other Renaissance fairs. They usually have great advice and also stories, so if you do have free time, go start a friendly conversation with a vendor. My next tip is to bring trinkets. If you don't know, there's a culture of trinket trading at the fair, and I've also heard it called fairying. This is when you bring trinkets from your home as a part of your costume to the fair and trade it with other people. I bring a little sack that I keep on my belt, and it has things like buttons, appliques, pebbles, seeds, stickers, things like that. You just want to make sure that you're not bringing handmade items that are similar to what the vendors are selling at the fair, but random things from your craft supplies or things that you found in nature when you've been walking. Those things are always a hit. I tend to give trinkets to new friends that I've made at the fair, and sometimes if I see a kid having a hard moment or I see an outfit that I really love, I'll go up and just ask them if I can give them a trinket. Bringing trinkets is an easy way to just put a smile on someone's face and make new friends, so I definitely recommend that. As for what to do with them afterwards, I keep all of my trinkets on this little mushroom shelf that I made, but I am running out of room, so I'm gonna have to come up with an alternative soon. My next tip is to wear a costume. Now, I'm not saying you have to go all out, and you will absolutely have a great time if you don't wear a costume, but even having accessories like some flowers in your hair or carrying a walking stick, it'll just help immerse you in the experience of the fair. Not only will it help you feel immersed in the environment, other people really love it too, and there's a lot of people that go to the fair just to look at the costumes. Honestly, I can't tell you how many friends I've made just by talking to each other about each other's costumes. And I just want to emphasize what an open and supportive environment Ren Faire is. So if you're someone who feels comfortable in costumes and enjoys expressing themselves through a character, Ren Faire is definitely the place to do it. But if you're not someone who feels comfortable in costume, you definitely don't have to wear one. You're gonna have a great time regardless, and there are a lot of things at the fair that you can get should you change your mind and decide that you want a little costume piece while you're there. And also, your costume doesn't have to be related to Ren Faire at all. I've actually seen stormtroopers, gorillas, people dressed as hot dogs. So it's a really like come one, come all type environment. And my last tip is to go with the right crowd. There's a lot of walking, it's in the woods, there are crowds, so keep this in mind when you are choosing who to invite to the Ren Faire with you. Your day is definitely going to be determined by the company that you keep, and it's Ren Faire, so putting together a group of fun, open-minded weirdos is definitely going to improve your experience. Ren Faire isn't for everyone, and the people that you bring to the fair can make or break your day, so just invite people that you know are going to have a really good time. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. To those of you I don't know personally yet, my name is Coco. I am an artist and a crafter, and I started this channel just to share some of the things that I make and the costume-related events that I go to. So if things like this interest you and you want to support a new YouTuber, please consider liking this video and following my channel. Next week, I'm posting a mushroom hat tutorial video, and I'm currently filming me making a giantess costume with platform boots and this huge muscle suit, so if you like this type of content, I'd love for you to be part of my journey, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you're going to Ren Faire, I hope you have the best time, and I will see you guys soon.